Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, In a Violent Nature. So this, I think it just came out. I heard about it a long time ago. Somebody throws something up on TikTok and I was like, oh okay. IFC film, Shudder, whatever, all that stuff. It's a slasher, horror, drama, horror, thriller. That's what it says. Actually, it has it on here. Now, what I know about this film, from what I've seen, is it's like a first-person type movie from the killer's point of view, which is really kind of interesting. That's what drew me to this. But this, let me get you the synopsis because it has, I don't know. When a locket is removed from a collapsed fire tower in the woods that entombs the rotting corpse of Johnny, a vengeful spirit, spurned on by a horrific 60-year-old crime, his body resurrected to become hell-bent on retrieving it. So, just trying to incorporate what they're saying. It sounds like somebody took a locket and this body that was buried decides to rise up after 60 years and chase down this locket. Which sounds to me not great. But the first person part of it, which is not on IMDb, sounds really, really cool. It is only 6.1 on IMDb, but only 4,704 people rated it so far. And honestly, I don't recognize anybody in it, which is even better. And there's not that many people. Maybe 8. I don't know. So, I don't know. I'm really intrigued by it. Can't wait to see it. I do like an occasional, like, that, you know, it makes me think of Friday the 13th and Jason Voorhees kind of thing. That's the vibe I got, but let's check it out. I'll let you know what I think. Hey everybody, we are at the credits of In a Violent Nature, and I'll just hit you real quick. It fell short for me. I think there's a great concept here, and there's a lot to this that I think it took some chances. I think that makes it different than any other film. But I'm assuming it's probably really hard to stick to that. So my whole thing was I thought it was like all in the first person, which I don't know how easy it would be in the first person. You know, like visually in the first person. It's not. I mean, it follows him a lot. So a lot of it is him walking. Him as in the violent killer. You know, and they show him walking and the camera's behind him. Again, okay, different perspective, and I'm down with that because I think first person, as we all know it, is like seeing through their eyes. That's hard to watch. I've seen films like that. Don't necessarily want to watch that shaky camera, but I like it from his perspective. But there's, you know, it takes away from that, right? So there are times where they show other pieces of the movie not from his perspective. And again, I know it's probably terribly hard to make that happen and make it interesting. And they do a good job, I think, of like trying to tell the story of what's going on throughout the movie. You know, there's a little bit here and there. The IMDb thing, the 60 years, I don't think that's right. But you know, whatever. And I don't want to tell you, but you get it. Some guy, they do say 60 years, right? Didn't I read that? 60-year-old crime. I didn't hear that. I heard 7 and 10 years in this movie. But regardless, it doesn't matter. You know, there's a couple of different... It really does have the Jason Voorhees, Friday the 13th type stuff. So Friday the 13th as in Jason Voorhees, not so much the mother thing, right? But it's all kind of connected, I think. Like if you watch it, you see those types of movies. Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, you know, the big, you know, killer in these types of slasher movies who, like, you can't kill, and they just keep coming back kind of thing, right? And he's large. They do a great job of, like, hiding what he really looks like for most part of the movie, which I really liked. I like the fact that, you know, you don't know. And that was always a fun thing with Jason Voorhees for me. I know I'm relating back to that a lot. But like when they take off the mask, it's like, oh no, what are we going to see? Like, that's huge. You don't see it in every one of them. I mean, I don't know how many Friday the 13th there were, but, you know, you only see it in a couple of them, and it wasn't until later that you started to see that stuff. So, like that, they do end up, well, I don't know. But I like the aspect that they hide it from it. They use a mask for a period. A lot of it's just like out of the camera angle, which is cool. And then they use a mask. The mask I didn't like. I thought the mask made it silly. I got the point of it. I understand it goes with the whole legend of the movie, but I thought that I didn't like it. I kind of I don't know. Didn't work for me, that piece of it. And I tell you what, I said, you know, the walking. I didn't time it, but I'm sure I could probably Google it. But I really feel it was an hour and 33-minute film. You take out, like, he's walking through the woods for a lot of this. And honestly, you take that out, it's probably like a 45-minute film. So it feels a lot longer than an hour and 33 minutes because it's, I don't know, even the ending, the final ending scene or whatever you call it, and I want to go into greater detail, but that drug on forever, and then the way they end, it was like a waste, in my opinion. A waste, a complete waste. I thought there was going to be something there, and maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. I'm not going to ruin it for you, but I feel didn't work for me there. What else? There was one other thing I wanted to mention. It like I said, it felt like it took a long time. Oh, the last thing I want to say. So it is a slasher film, and the in violent nature, he's obviously very, very violent and ruthless. But some of the scenes are like some of them are way over the top. Like, just really, you know what I mean? Like that's, you know. And maybe I'll say spoiler alert, but maybe I won't. I'm not going to say it right now. But I don't know. There was that piece of it. Like, there's some which are just normal, like Friday the 13th kind of stuff. Then there's like one, I'll say, that is just, I don't know, the yoga one. There we go. So if you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I had one more thing and I lost it. But, oh, and, you know, there's one scene, I'll say it. I'll just say, because it's getting hard. I'm not going to ruin the ending or anything like that, but just spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, just in case. Walking underwater for like the length of the width of a lake. I like it. I think it's cool. Go in, you know. But it's just like, I mean, it was kind of neat, but I don't know. It just kind of like, what? Really? Come on, dude. You know. I don't know. I don't know how you make that better, but I do kind of. I like the idea of it, like him going under the water and whatever. But since I said spoiler alert, I think I could talk a little bit more openly. That yoga scene, you know, spinning her around and stuff like that. That was a little over the top for me. Like I said, there's a lot of cool elements to this movie that I really liked. You know, if you're into these old type of slasher films, like the ones I had mentioned, I don't want to repeat myself. There's a lot of that in there, and it feels like it pulls from them a little bit, and it takes that first step in a new, different perspective, which I love. I just wish they could have stuck to it and made it really work. There's not a lot of character development because it's not about the characters that are getting killed. It's more about him. And I wish we could have had a little bit more of that, like, and then a little bit, like, stick to that first person and make it work. I don't have the brain to do that, and it's probably really hard to make that, and that's why they didn't do it in this one. But like I said, there's a lot of cool stuff to this that I liked, but a little off the mark for me on this one. And that's it. That's all I got. I think there's a lot of potential here from the writer and the director. There you go. That's it. I know there was something else, but that's all I got. I can't remember anymore. If I think of anything, I'll let you know. But for the true horror fans and the ones of the old genre, you'll like this one, I think. And that's it. I know there's something else, but I can't think of it. I tried hard enough. If I think of it, I'll come back. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.